Hey everyone, this is Achyuth from When Chai Met Toast. I had a chat with Veer about different topics like my music, the band, my journey for his podcast. So go check it out. Hope you enjoy listening to it.
Dude, is life a perception based on perspective or is perspective based on perceptions?
Have you completely lost it?
No, wait, it's just perceptions.
Isn't life just like a box of paints, full of colorful people, events, and
Arey no, it's just black and white, like binary.
Dude, for people like us and all, there are only two options in life. So engineering or medicine.
Bro, come on. There's a whole lot more to life than just that. You're just looking at it from the wrong perspective.
That's completely anti-national. How can you say that? I mean, how can you not be patriotic?
I don't believe in such ideas, to be honest. The notion of a country itself is just this perception that is implanted in our minds.
Children, life is just like a balance sheet. You must balance things out to give rise to that final statement, just as a balance sheet declares a final statement.
Has she gone mad?
No, dude. Think about it.
Perspectives. Life through perspectives and perceptions.
Episode 12 Striking a Chord with Achyuth Jaigopal from When Chai Met Toast.
Hello everybody, my name is Vir Gupta and welcome to the show. You can also listen to the show on your preferred streaming service, whether it's Anchor, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, or whatever it is. Just check out the links down below to know more. And while on that platform, do give us a review, give us a rating. It'll mean the world to me.
My guest today is one of the most talented people I've ever spoken to. He's the lead guitarist and banjo player of what is, in my opinion, the best band in the country. Their music can be described as meaningful yet simple. His guitar and banjo solos are one of the most prominent features of their songs. On this episode, we talk about what it's like to work with a name like Sebastian, what we can expect from When Chai Met Toast's new album, and a whole lot more. So without further ado, I bring on Achyuth Jaigopal from When Chai Met Toast.
Hey, thank you so much, man. That was really kind of you.
So I'd just like to start with this. So you're the lead guitarist of the band and you've had so many years of experience with guitar. So I'd just like to ask you, how did it all start with the guitar?
How the guitar started was I picked up a guitar that was around at home and I was put into guitar lessons. And at that point, I never took it seriously. I just practiced whenever I felt like it. And slowly, it sort of became, my go-to thing for meeting new people and exchanging experiences. And I enjoyed the process of collaborating, and music became that thing where all my friends were also musicians. We were playing music together. So it was that sort of a situation, and I never wanted to take it up professionally. It was just something that happened. Different opportunities came by and one thing led to another. And somehow I am continuing doing music professionally.
So today, you have these thousands of fans and whatever. Do you feel sort of overwhelmed at times? Does it get you that, hey, I can't really deal with so much? Even though I love being on stage, I need that time alone. And is it that time when you turn to the guitar?
I can't say we have thousands of fans. I can't say that for myself, but before it was something that we didn't know who would listen to our music when we put it out. But now we know that there are at least a few thousand people who would listen to our music whenever we put it out. And that is somewhat, an added pressure per se, that we have to be on top of our game. But it's also something that pushes me to do better. And I think it's a good thing, yeah.
While writing the new album, is there that sort of thing in your mind that I know we have set a bar with Coach and The Joy of Little Things? Does it really get to you that, hey, this is not good enough?
100%, yeah. There's been so many occasions where even within the band we come up with scratches and we develop it to a certain point and then we say, no, this is not good enough. We can do better. And I think it is that judgment, introspection sort of a thing where, you ask yourself, is this something that I'm proud of? As a musician, you may get a lot of applause from a lot of people, including your family, friends. Everyone will say what are you doing is good. But then ultimately you have to ask yourself if that is something that you are personally happy with. And if the answer is yes to that, then more often than not, it goes in an album or you end up releasing it.
And is that a sort of group agreement that you guys come to, that hey, we know as a group, because for people it can get complicated at times, like hey, we all have different thoughts, and does it have to be a group decision, or do you guys collectively think and have that collective mindset which a band sometimes does have, that they know what each other are thinking?
Yeah, there so many arguments about different things. It always happens, but luckily, so far, we've always managed to find a common ground because over the 4 years, we have grown to know each other's tastes. And so we are in a space where we give each other the freedom to put in their own creative output, and ultimately, we arrive at a common decision regarding a song. But yeah, so far, it's been smooth that way.
And you mentioned as a band, you guys have spoken about how the first album was very simplistic, and then you transformed or you moved towards a more meaningful sound.
Yeah, correct.
Is there more transformation we can expect from the new album? I mean, naturally you guys would grow, but what do you say a fan's expectation would be from the next album or what's coming out next?
There's definitely a growth in terms of the sound. As you mentioned, the first EP talked about joys of little things, and it was more of on the happiness side, where the second EP was on the lines of positivity. The album is going to be a mix of that plus something else, which we don't want to say what it is about yet.
That's very
it's something for the listeners to listen and see what they get out of it, but you can expect different sounds. Musically, there are a lot of new elements for us, and it's always important to keep experimenting and doing new things, because otherwise you might find yourself being very stagnant at what you do.
Yeah. So I've heard most of the songs on repeat for a very long time, and simple lyrics like "Let me go passing by" and "Don't even know what I will find." Some would even argue that sort of existential lyrics, but they are still so meaningful and simple. Where do you think they come from, and is there more of over-analyzing from while writing, or is it just a simple thing of finding words that make sense?
That's a good question, actually. For us, more often than not, the core of the song usually comes along with the first time that the idea comes out.
Yeah.
So more often than not, there is no looking back and seeing if, like, "Let Me Go Passing By," for example, it was there from the moment that we initially wrote the song.
Yeah.
The other lyrics came about later, but the core of "Let Me Go Passing By," "Let Me Go Come Back in Time," "Let Me Be Who I Am," that was the core of the idea.
Yeah.
Of the song, and then the rest of the lyrics were written around it. So when something clicks, you know it. And it reflects on the kind of people we are actually.
Yeah.
We're not good at writing complicated lyrics. So I think it's more to do with what you're comfortable with and being true to who you are, which often connects with other people.
You just said that simple lyrics and less complication. Even the simple line like "Let me be who I am." It's something that anyone would resonate with while listening to the song. "Let me be who I am" is a simple message to whoever's listening. Like, stay yourself. And is that what you guys have tried to do? Like, let us be who we are.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. I think that's very important for every artist per se to just not try to be anyone else and try to be the best of themselves, because that's someone that no one else can be. That's something that we try to do with all our songs. Even though we take inspirations from a lot of artists, we try to keep it to our roots. Like that's something that no one else can do. So even the way that Ashwin sings or the way that I play the banjo, it's very different from a conventional country bluegrass kind of a banjo playing. Or the way he sings, it's not like Ashwin is trying to imitate an English accent or even though the genre of our music is indie folk, we still keep the Indian accent because that's who we are.
Every song, I think almost every song, there's that little riff of your banjo or guitar at the break or after the chorus, which is just what makes every When Chai Met Toast sound what it is. And is there something...
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah.
That, I mean, when you hear that, you know that, okay, this is a Chai Met Toast song, and that's just something so brilliant to hear. So are there some similar features from other members of your group that is there in every song that most listeners can't catch?
Wow, I haven't analyzed our songs like that. But I mean, if you look at it, the way Ashwin sings certain syllables, you know, there's a lot of I's that a lot of lines end in, like, whereas I now sing a goodbye. It's not goodbye. You say it's a goodbye. That's how he sings it. So that's something interesting.
Yeah.
In Pally's, I think you can notice a lot of the rhythms that he plays on the keyboard, the chord backings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of suspended chords if you're looking at it musically. So, and in terms of the drummer pie, there are certain roles that you can associate with the drummer also.
Yeah.
And the drum kit in our songs are mostly very stripped down. It's not like a usual drummer would approach it. It's more to back what the song is doing and not really showcasing him as doing anything extravagant, but like laying the foundations for the song. So that's how the song comes together.
Yeah. So also you guys released 2 singles in 2019, if I'm correct. And Niara was just Malayali, just the full song was in Malayalam, which is fascinating. Was there a sort of demand from the local audience saying that put out a pure Malayali song or whatever, or is that something you guys wanted to do for yourselves?
So about Niara, it's not that we are not well versed in Malayalam. It's more that we speak Malayalam, but we can't really write in Malayalam.
Okay.
And found it difficult to write songs in Malayalam because our native tongues are both Malayalam and we speak Malayalam at home. So we know the language well, but we're not really good at writing songs or writing lyrics in the language. And definitely, whenever we travel to different corners of the world, there's always these bunch of people from Kerala who request for a Malayalam song. And we wanted to write a Malayalam song at some point. It came together this year. It was actually a song that we didn't write the lyrics ourselves. We got a lyricist to write, but it was a tune that Pally had from a few years ago. Okay. And we thought, why not take that tune and make it into a When Chai Met Toast song? So it was definitely to cater to the love that we received from the people of our hometown.
So I'd like to move to Die Trying. So for those of you who are listening, it's very likely that you have not seen this series. It's a series created by Sebastian. It's about these 2 bandmates who are trying to get famous, and there are 8 songs in the album and 4 songs by Chai Met Toast, or rather Chai Met Toast feature on 4 of the songs, if I'm correct. It's available on Amazon Prime, and there's this one song which I love. It's called Die Trying, the main track of the album. And it has this lyric that says, wanna keep trying if it means die trying. And I just want to ask you, when you were writing that, or when you guys were thinking of it, there are always these existential lyrics, again referring to the previous one. Did it ever hit you that this may be getting a bit too heavy, or just this is a simple tone? I want to keep it simple, but we have done it in a way that it ended up being very sort of heavy in relevance to the bigger scheme of things.
Incidentally, Die Trying, the lyrics were written by Sebastian himself. How the project came about was he wanted to do a sort of not really comedy rock, but acoustic rock, but with existential lyrics mixed with like some funny lyrics also, which was the vibe of the band in the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the lyrics of all the songs were written by Kenny. We composed the melodies and I played the guitar. I composed the instrumental parts. That's how it was. I mean, the song itself is heavy, but the line is put in a very light-hearted way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you analyze it, it might have a deeper meaning to it.
Was it a bit different for you working with a set theme and a set idea that you guys had to follow while working towards a web series and intended theme of the web series, even with the vibe that you guys had to compose for this?
It was different for us because till then we had just done songs for ourselves. We hadn't really composed for other people. But for this project particularly, Kenny gave us a lot of freedom to do what we wanted. And we knew the kind of sound that he was looking for. So it was a very collaborative. We weren't really stuck at any point, not knowing what to do. Even though we were in completely different cities, we just had, Skype and email to compose the whole album. And
wow.
Yeah, and then we sent him scratch recordings, we recorded everything, and then we went to Mumbai one day and recorded his vocal. So that's the only time we sort of, really met him or jammed with him.
Yeah, wow. So I'd like to move back to my favorite song of yours, which is Who Are You, which is from Believe. And it has this very slow, sort of very deep meaning as well, which is sort of different from the other songs. And was that the intended meaning or message that you guys were going for while writing it? Because it really feels different from everything you guys have put out.
Yes, Who Are You is very different from most of our songs that we've released. For one, it's questioning yourself. It's not really a happy song. It's more of, asking yourself if you have been true to who you are. If you have been living. So some of the lines are, I've been lately living a lie. I've been lately living in disguise.
Again, this is very existential, which is...
Yeah, that was a song where we were kind of in a mood where we had to let out some emotions of if we were actually going somewhere with what we are doing. And it was that phase of the band. I think it's very different, as I said before, from all of our songs. It's got a special place in all four of our hearts, that particular song. And the lyrics particularly speak a lot if you look at it.
So also there's this vibe that you get. It's sort of like an easy Sunday afternoon sort of. These albums, they speak to that sort of vibe where you can just sit down one afternoon, listen to those mini albums or EPs and feel happy. And was that always the aim?
It wasn't an aim, to be honest. It's something that came about. Like most of our songs root from the people that we are. So most of the time, I guess we are happy, and when we make music, we are happy. There are certain songs like Who Are You, which aren't as happy, and there are certain songs from the upcoming album which are love songs. So it depends on the mood that you write the song in, I guess.
Wow. And you guys feel that, hey, we need to keep track of the mood, and there's this sort of writing atmosphere that you guys will write in, or just whatever the group is feeling?
The songs can come about in any random moment. Like when you sit and you want to write a song, nothing might come out. But then in the most, random moments, when you're stuck with nothing to do, or when you are in a beautiful place, you really can't say what kind of song can come out when. So what we do is we try to record whatever idea we get on our phones and then listen back to it a couple of days later. But because sometimes you might find an idea, something that you like, and then you record it and it sounds good to you on that day, but then 2 days later you listen to it and it's like, it's total, crap. And that happens a lot of times also. So it's always important to listen to things a few days later and then gauge if you were actually happy about that.
And is that something you've always done? Like, okay, even if I create something, I'll wait, see what I can do after a few days, or add to it, if you will.
It's something that I haven't always done. It's come about in the last few years. I think it's really helped also because sometimes you really have to sleep on some things and then wake up the next morning and you might either find something to add on to it, or it's something that you realize that, oh, you could do better than this. So not react impulsively to something that you do on the day.
Yeah. And you've said that it's about who you guys are, and essentially you get the vibe from these albums that you guys are very simple people, and that's something you don't, I wouldn't say see a lot, but that's something that's just so great to hear in the music itself. Do you think that's something you want to keep in the music, even though you might change, you might become more famous or whatever, you will stay simple, right? And is that a vibe that is a staple of When Chai Met Toast?
I'm glad you feel that way because that is who we are. We are simple people, and I feel even over the 4 years, despite whatever attention that we have been getting, we have stayed very similar to who we were 4 years ago, also. So I don't think we will change drastically, at least. So as long as we are the same normal people, we will continue to keep that in our songs also. But if we do change, we can't force ourselves to be who we are not. So I think it depends on the time. But I feel that we will retain the simplicity and who we are right now.
That makes me so happy. So the other day also, my friend who is at IIT Madras messaged me because I love the band, and he said, dude, I organized their festivals, Sarand, and he's like, dude, they're so nice and they're so simple. And I'm like, you're so lucky, man. Because for me, it's sort of like, I wouldn't say grown with the band because you guys have not, I guess, been around only for so long. So I'm just happy that to hear it from even someone else saying that that's who they are, and it just made me fall in love with the band again, or even believe in you guys so much more, which is, I don't know, so beautiful that I.
Thank you. That's really kind of you, and it's really great to hear that the music has made a positive impact on you, and that's something that we as musicians are proud of.
I just like to end on this. You're 23 and you're just 5 years older than me, which I can't get over. There's so much ahead for you. Band is so young that anything can happen, and that is just so overwhelming and feels so weird to me in a way, because many of the bands that I listen to are sort of guys in their 30s or whatever. When you see a band that has their lead guitarist at age 23, I'm sort of confused with what to expect, because I know at 23 this person is only going to change, mature, grow and whatnot, and so will the band. I'd like to not be scared. I'm very happy to see how it will go, but does it ever scare you, or do you ever fear that I'm so young yet so vulnerable to the things around me, or is that something you're positively looking at?
I think you have to always look at it positively. I really hope I haven't peaked too early, but I feel that there is so much more to learn. And as long as you keep learning and doing what you love, even if it may not reflect in terms of, monetary success or success in terms of numbers of people listening, as long as you're keeping improving and making new music and doing what you love, I think as long as you're happy with yourself, then there is always a steady upward graph that you can have in life. So whatever age you are, it is always nice to keep working at what you do and getting better.
I love that. I love how you're totally just looking at this graph as your growth versus time instead of your monetary success and time, which is a factor, but I don't know.
It is definitely a factor, but it shouldn't be the primary factor, especially in the arts.
Yeah, and I'm just so happy and still very, very overwhelmed talking to someone like you as usual. But thank you so much for doing this. And yeah, when can we expect to see When Chai Met Toast live again, hopefully?
Hopefully in the next couple of months, we should be, playing live shows again. But with the album tour, I think it should be around September, October this year, because the album should release around May, June. I think June would be the release of the album. So September, October would be a time where we would be touring around the country with the album songs. So yeah, that'll be a good time to watch us.
Can't wait. Thank you so much, Achyuth, for doing this. And yes, Very, very happy.
You can catch me on Instagram at @Vir_Gupta or at perspections.podcast. You can find Achyuth on Instagram at ACHYUTH_J, or you can check out his YouTube channel under the name Achyuth Jaigopal. You can catch all of When Chai Met Toast's music on Spotify, YouTube, or whichever other music streaming service that you do use. And do check them out. They're really, really good. I honestly just can't wait for the new album to drop. Also, don't forget to check out the other episodes of this podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to tell me what you think in the comments down below. I really hope you enjoyed it.
So yes, until the next episode, goodbye.
Awesome. Take care, man. Thank you for doing this. Pleasure to be part of it.